a biblical study of the Word. And in this one, we are going to be doing there are about 50 questions, but we're going to try to do as much as we can today. What I promise you that I'm not going to keep you longer than 1 o'clock. So for those who are with us, I know a bunch of folks have told me that they would do the quiz when they get home in the evening or at some other time. But for those who are watching live, our first question this morning would be, all right, let's get there. Fill in the blanks. I, uh, something I leave you, my something I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. So there are two words that are missing. The first word, something I leave with you, my something I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. What is the answer for that one? All right, it's good again to have you with us this evening, and I thank you or this afternoon for joining us and for being a part of this time together. All right, so fill in the blanks. Oh, I should have given you I should have given you the clues. All right, I forgot to give you the clues. It's one of these: comforter, wisdom, peace, power. And if you had your answer as peace, then you are correct. Peace is the correct answer for that one. Our next one would be, in which book does the term New Jerusalem appear? And this one gives you your choices: John, Galatians, Jude, and Revelation. In which book does the term New Jerusalem appear? Is it John? Is it Galatians? Is it Jude? Or is it Revelation? And you've got 30 seconds or so to come up with the right answer. I know that some of these questions are familiar and some of them are not so familiar. And it's not a winner or a loser. We are all just participants, and we are all participating, doing our best. So the answer to that question is Revelation. In which book does the term New Jerusalem appear? The answer is Revelation. If you had Revelation, you are correct. So Shanti got the first one, at least those who are participating here that I can see. I know that Vilma tells me that she writes down the answers, and some of you still don't know how to put the answer in, but for those who are able to, you can just add your answer in the live chat area. Revelation again is the correct answer for that. All right, our next question is, where did Paul and Barnabas meet Barjesus, the sorcerer? Where did Paul and Barnabas meet Barjesus, the sorcerer? Is it at Antioch, Joppa, Paphos, or Jerusalem? Where did Paul and Barnabas meet Barjesus, the sorcerer? And you've got about 30 seconds to get that one. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. All right, so Andrew is answering on the Facebook page. But the answer to that one is Paphos. So Paphos is the answer to the one that we just gave out. Where did Paul and Barnabas meet Barjesus the sorcerer? The answer to that is Paphos. Paphos. I have lost some of my participants. But anyway, thank you for those who are still with us. The next question. According to Israelite law, what did God not want among the Israelite people? According to Israelite law, what did God not want among the Israelite people? Was it poor people, judges, servants, or landlords? Is it or is it poor people, judges, servants, or landlords? According to Israelite law, what did God not want among the Israelite people? That's a little tough one. I don't know that I knew that off the bat, but this one is interesting. Um, that is who you are, Dreammaker. I listened to that song probably 3 times in the last hour or so, so that's why it's stuck. It's the last song syndrome, as Kurt would say. All right, so if your answer is poor people, and this is found in Deuteronomy 15:4. Poor people is the answer. According to Israelite law, what did God not want among the Israelite people? Poor people is the answer. All right. What was the initial reaction of the church in Jerusalem to Peter's visit to the house of Cornelius? What was the initial reaction of the church in Jerusalem to Peter's visit to the house of Cornelius? They criticized him, they rejoiced in their salvation, they shunned him, or they had him arrested. What was the initial reaction of the church in Jerusalem to Peter's visit to the house of Cornelius? All right. Give you a few seconds to get you the answer to that one. All right. Thank you. We've got about 9 folks that are with us right now, and I know, again, like I said earlier on, that there are people who will join us from time to time. But the answer to that one, what was the initial reaction of the church in Jerusalem to Peter's visit to the house of Cornelius? The answer is they criticized him. They criticized him. If you have that as your answer, then you are correct. They criticized him. All right, the next question. What was something that men used in Bible times to settle arguments? What was something that men used in Bible times to settle arguments? Was it or is it a foot race? Whoever was older would win. They would cast lots, or they would ask a third party. What was something that men used in Bible times to settle arguments? Is it a foot race? Whoever was older would win. They would cast lots, or they would ask a third party. What is the answer to that one? We are learning today. This is a learning time. Thank you, Karen, for joining us. Indra and Julia and Paulette. Shanti is with us. Missing Winston, missing a few of our folks, but for those who are here, thank you for your presence with us. The answer to that is that they would cast lots. They would cast lots is the answer. All right, you got that right, Andrew. All right, which biblical character claimed his wife was his sister? Which biblical character claimed his wife was his sister? Is it David, Boaz, Isaiah, or Abraham? Which biblical character claimed his wife was his sister? Is it David? Is it Boaz? Is it Isaiah or Abraham? What is your answer? That is who you are. Dream maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Thank you. And the answer to that is Abraham. If you have Abraham as your answer, that would be correct. Abraham is the answer to the next question, or to the last question. Which biblical character claimed his wife was his sister? All right, the next one. Complete this verse. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, what would happen? The same shall be clothed in white raiment. I grant to sit with me in my throne. I will come in to him, or let him hear what the Spirit said. You know the scripture found in Revelation. Complete this verse. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, what is the next line? The same shall be clothed in white raiment. I grant to sit with me in my throne. I will come into him, or let him hear what the Spirit said. You can do A, B, C, or D in your answer instead of writing the whole, answer. So you can do A, B, C, D, which would be A would be the same shall be clothed in white raiment. B, I will grant, or I grant to sit with me in my throne. C, I will come into him. Or D, let him hear what the Spirit said. I should have put that there. It would make it easier, right, than writing the whole thing down. But if your answer is, I will come into him, which would be D, that would be the answer. D is the answer to that question. All right, I will come into him. Thank you. Thank you, Julia. Got that right. All right, our next question would be, at the time of Jesus, what would the Jews do before eating? At the time of Jesus, what would the Jews do before eating? A, say grace. B, offer a sacrifice. C, quote the law. Or D, perform a ceremonial washing. At the time of Jesus, what would the Jews do before eating? Is it A, say grace. B, offer a sacrifice. C, quote the law. Or D, perform a ceremonial washing. A, B, C, or D. And you can just answer in that way rather than doing the whole, the whole sentence, or rather than coding. Yeah, Julia, I should have done that. I should have put A, B, C, and D. But anyway, I'm getting it now. So at the time of Jesus again, what would the Jews do before eating? A, say grace. B, offer a sacrifice. C, quote the law. Or D, perform a ceremonial washing. What is your answer? All right. All right. So I think I got 1D, 2Ds. And if you are answering D, you are correct. Perform a ceremonial washing is the correct answer. Perform a ceremonial washing. The next question. What time of the day did the Israelites flee Egypt? What time of the day did the Israelites flee Egypt? Is it A, in the middle of the day, B, at night, C, at daybreak, or D, at sunset? What time of the day did the Israelites flee Egypt? A, in the middle of the day, B, at night, C, at daybreak, or D, at sunset? That's our question. Let me hear what you have to say. Dream maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, a light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Hallelujah. All right, so if your answer to that question, what time of the day did the Israelites flee Egypt? Middle of the day, at night, at daybreak, or at sunset? A, B, C, or D? The answer would be D, at night. That would be the correct answer. D, at night. That would be the correct answer for that question. All right, let's move on to our next question. Solomon had many trading ships which returned every 3 years, bringing these animals with them. So he had these trading ships, and they returned every 3 years, bringing these animals with them. Parrots and emus, horses and bear, that's B. C, dogs and cats. Or D, apes and peacocks. Is it A, parrots and emus, B, horses and bears, C, dogs and cats, or D, apes and peacocks? What is the correct answer for that? Solomon had many trading ships which returned every 3 years, bringing these animals with them: parrots and emus, horses and bears, C, dogs and cats, or D, as in Deborah, apes and peacocks. And if your answer is apes and peacocks, then you are right. That would be D, as in Deborah. All right. Julie, I had the scriptures for this, and then it was getting so long putting the scripture text to every one of the answers. But I do have the scriptures for them, and maybe next week when I do the trivia, I'll add the scriptures to give you the correct information and make sure that you can read along and find it in the Bible. So the answer to the last question was D. If you got D, then you got that right. The next one. Fill in the blanks. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is what? But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be. So there are two words missing. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is blank. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be blank. Is it wonderful, watched? A. 2. Strength or scorned. C. Lasting or mocked. Or D. Vain or praised. Is it A. Wonderful and watched? Is it B. Strength or scorned? Is it C. Lasting or mocked? Or is it D. Vain or praised? Dream maker, miracle worker. I am trying to get Brandon and his folks to the worship music team to put together some music for us, and that way we can in between the question and the answer we can play a little bit of music. But that would be something that we would have for next week, hopefully. So we're looking forward to that. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be. All right. If you have D, as in Deborah, vain and praised. I think most people got that one right. That is the correct answer. In which Old Testament book does Satan specifically ask permission to attack an individual? In which Old Testament book does Satan specifically ask permission to attack an individual? Is it in 1 Samuel? Is it in Isaiah? Is it in Hosea? Or is it in Job? Which Old Testament book does Satan specifically ask permission to attack an individual? A. 1 Samuel. B. Isaiah. C. Hosea. D. Job. That is who you are. All right, Angela wrote it out. That is who you are. And if your answer is D, Job, you are correct. That one should have been probably the easiest question of the lot. But thank you again for your participation. Before the temple, our next question, was built, Solomon offered sacrifices in this place because it was the great high place. Before the temple was built, Solomon offered sacrifices in this place because it was the great high place. Is it A. Gibeon, B. Hebron, C. Bethlehem, D. Jericho? Where was it that Solomon offered sacrifices because it was considered to be the great high place? A. Gibeon, B. Hebron, C. Bethlehem, or D. Jericho? A dream maker, a miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. I think Shanti left us. She was on earlier on, but I haven't seen her since the second question. You guys are doing well. We again, to hear for learning some of these questions, like Julia said, never heard of. But it's one of the, you dig into the word and there is some stuff that we would have read and passed over. But if your answer to this was A, Gibeon, then you are correct. Gibeon is the right answer to that question. Before the temple was built, Solomon offered sacrifices in this place because it was considered to be the great high place. The answer is Gibeon, Gibeon. And that is, should be what? A. A would be the answer to that question. All right. We got that one right. All right. So by law, if an Israelite touched the carcass of a dead insect, he became unclean until a priest cleansed him, B, the seventh day of the week, D, the evening, or no, C, the evening, or D, he cleaned himself. A priest cleansed him, B, the seventh day of the week, or C, the evening, or D, he cleaned himself. What is the answer to that one? An Israelite touched the carcass of a dead insect, he became unclean until what happened? The priest cleansed him, A, B, the seventh day of the week, C, the evening, or he cleansed himself, D. This one is coming up in a couple seconds. I'll give you the answer to that one. And the answer to that would be the evening. The evening. And that would be what? That would be C. So by law, if an Israelite touched the carcass of a dead insect, he became clean until the evening. That is C. If you had C as your answer, then you are correct. Anything else, you have learned something else today. All right, our next question. What does the Proverbs suggest you should do to calm an angry man? This is funny. Give him an ox, publicly apologize, listen to his counsel, or give him a gift in secret. A, give him an ox. B, publicly apologize. C, listen to his counsel. Or D, give him a gift in secret. Which one is the answer to that question? What does the proverb suggest you should do to calm an angry man? Should you give him an ox? A, B, publicly apologize. C, listen to his counsel. Or D, give him a gift in secret. Yes, Julia, really. That one was a little bit of a... Yeah, but this one is, so the answer to this question is give him a gift in secret. And that would be number 4 or D as in Deborah. Give him a gift in secret. Andrew, that was not an option. So with let's move on to the next question. What did God tell Habakkuk to do with the vision that he gave him? What did God tell Habakkuk to do with the vision that he gave him? Did he A, tell him to teach it to his children, B, to write it down on tablets, C, to proclaim it in the temple, or D, to keep it to himself? To Church of God of Prophecy members who have been long-time members, you should know this one. We preached this many, many times. But what did God tell Habakkuk to do with the vision he gave him? A, to teach it to the children. B, to write it down on tablets. C, to proclaim it in the temple. Or D, to keep it to himself. What is the answer for that one? Bless the Lord. That is who you are. Dream maker, maker, miracle worker, a promise keeper. All right, so Indra got B. Um, where are my other participants? And if you're at home and you're not, typing in your answers here, I trust that you're learning something from this experience. I know that some of you do participate and you are participating, but not, live with us on so that we can see it in the live chat. But if you wrote down your answer, should have been to write it down on tablets, B as in boy. That was the answer to that question. What did God tell Habakkuk to do with the vision he gave him? Again, too, this is all a learning experience. And some of these questions, you can go back and watch it. You can Google it. You can check it out. Make sure that they are correct. But I believe 100% that all the answers I'm giving you, they are correct. I did have the scriptures, like I said, but I didn't put them down at all. If you notice, the first few questions had the scripture connected to the answer, but then I stopped doing it because of time. It was so time consuming. All right, so next question. What did God tell Habakkuk to know? That's the one we just did. All right, let's move on. Which disciple objected to Jesus washing his feet? Which disciple objected to Jesus washing his feet? Is it John 1 or A? Is it Peter, B? Is it Andrew, C? Or is it Matthew, D? I left that question. I did switch back a little bit, but which disciple objected to Jesus washing his feet? Is it John? Is it Peter, Andrew, or Matthew? A, B, C, or D? A, dream maker. And if your answer to that is Peter, then you got it right. Peter is the correct answer. B. I think most people got that one. Peter objected to Jesus washing his feet. All right, so next question. Who said, whatsoever thine hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. Do it with thy might. Who said, whatsoever thine hand findeth to do, do it with thy might? Is it A, Noah? Is it Ruth, B, Solomon, C, or is it Jesus, D? Again, who said, whatsoever thine hand findeth to do, do it with thy might? Is it A, Noah? Is it B, Ruth? Is it C, Solomon? Or is it D, Jesus? I am blessed every day of my life. I am blessed. I meant to send a link to Sister Brenda, but she loves to participate in this, but I'm going to send it later so she can take a look at it. I'm not sure Nanan is with us. I don't believe he is, but I got a message from Sister Kalauti. She was listening to a song that him and Radhika did last week, and she was commenting how much it inspired her and blessed her. So, these little things are, sometimes we look at it as nothing, but people do, find pleasure or find a great blessing in listening to others. When it's done in the right manner in terms of the Spirit, then it is, done to glorify God. All right, so if your answer was Solomon, you are correct. Solomon is the answer to that question. Who said, whatsoever thine hand findeth to do, do it with thy might? It was C, as in cat, Solomon. All right, let's move on. How did Paul teach the Thessalonians? How did Paul teach the Thessalonians? And is it orally and with the written word? Is it B, by demonstration? Is it C, by lecturing to large crowds? Or is it D, by communicating one-on-one? How did Paul teach the Thessalonians? Orally and with the written word? B, by demonstration, C, by lecturing to large crowds, or D, by communicating one-on-one? I'll give you another 20 seconds to answer that one. Dream maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Now, if your answer to that was A, orally and with the written word, then you have that correct. A is the answer to that question. He orally and with the written word teach the Thessalonians. Thank you for your answers, but if you got A, then you got it correct. All right, next question. How many pigs were in the herd that Jesus cast the legion of evil spirits into? How many pigs were in the herd that Jesus cast the legions of evil spirits into? Is it 3,000, 2,000, 500, or 1,000? Is it 3,000, 2,000, 500, or 1,000? This one would probably be a lot of guessing, but how many pigs were in the herd that Jesus cast the legion of evil spirits into? A, 3,000, B, 2,000, C, 500, or D, 1,000. Julia, we all do. It's one of the things that we just, we pass over a lot of these things. That's why Bible trivia is good, because it brings back to our memory. We don't really pay attention to a lot of this when we're reading the Bible. We look for things that could inspire us, or things that can edify, or things that can lift us up. And, if you you don't really go into until you have a trivia like this to really study it and to say, well, this is what I think it is. But anyway, if your answer to that is B, as in boy, 2,000, then you are correct. B, as in boy. How many pigs were in the herd that Jesus cast the legion of evil spirits into? And the answer to that is 2,000. All right. That is who you are. All right, our next question. What had just happened in David's life that caused him to write Psalms 51 and verse 4? Against thee and thee only have I sinned and done this evil in thy sight. What had just happened in David's life that caused him to write Psalms 51 and 4? Against thee and thee only have I sinned and done this evil in thy sight. Is it A, he had offered a sacrifice to God, B, he had cursed God, D, he had murdered many men in battle, or C, he had murdered many men in battle, or D, he had sinned with Bathsheba? Is it A, he had offered a sacrifice to God, B, he had cursed God, C, he had murdered many men in battle, or D, he had sinned with Bathsheba? Hey, dream maker, give you about 15 more seconds to get the answer to that one. Miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. If he had sinned with Bathsheba, that would be D, as in Deborah, then you are correct. D is the answer to that last question. What had just happened in David's life that caused him to write Psalms 51 and 4? D would have been the correct, or D is the correct answer. All right, let's move on to our next question. We are getting close to our count long time. Fill in the blank. But the Lord is something who shall establish you and keep you from evil. Is it the Lord is powerful, or the Lord is loving, the Lord is faithful, or the Lord is merciful? Is it A, powerful, B, loving, C, faithful, or D, merciful? But the Lord is blank, who shall establish you and keep you from evil. A, powerful. B, loving. C, faithful. D, merciful. That is who you are. A dream maker, miracle worker, promise keeper. 5 seconds. Answer to that is C, faithful. The answer to the last question. Fill in the blank. But the Lord is faithful, who shall establish you and keep you from evil. I know that, merciful is one that comes to mind, or even loving, or even powerful. I believe that he's all of this, but the actual scripture, it says, but the Lord is faithful, who shall establish you and keep you from evil. So if your answer was C, you got that one right. Good job, Karen. All right, the next question. What word is used to describe God in the first chapter of 1 John? What word is used to describe God in the first chapter of 1 John? Is it light, love, steadfast, or unchanging? Is it light, love, steadfast, or unchanging? What word is used to describe God in the first chapter of 1 John? A, light. B, love. C, steadfast. Or D, unchanging. 15 seconds more and then we'll move on to the answer. That is who you are. Oh, dream maker, miracle worker. And the answer to that one is A, light. Light is the answer to that last question. What word is used to describe God in the first chapter of 1 John? The answer is A, light. If you have that, or if you had that, that is correct. The next question. At the end of Isaiah, God says that he will send certain people to the nations to hear the gospel. Which people did he specifically mention? Is it A, the new generation of Israelites, B, the Gentiles, C, idol worshippers, or D, Egyptians? At the end of Isaiah, God says that he will send certain people to the nations to hear the gospel. Which people did he specifically mention? Is it A, the new generation of Israelites, or B, the Gentiles, C, idol worshippers, or D, Egyptians? That's a little tough one, but it's there. God says that he will send certain people to the nations to hear the gospel. Hallelujah. And if your answer to that is the Gentiles, then you are correct. So that would be what? B, as in boy. B is the correct answer, that he was going to send certain people to the nations to hear the gospel, and that would be the Gentiles. B is the correct answer for that one. Dream maker. All right, our next question. In Israelite law, if a man, and this would be the second to last question, we do one more after this one. In Israelite law, if a man was found murdered in a field with no witness, which priests were responsible to atone for the sin? In Israelite law, if a man was found murdered in a field with no witness, which priest was responsible to atone for the sin? Is it any priest would do? B, the priest in the closest tongue to the body. C, the priest of the man who found the body. Or D, the priest in the tongue of the man's family. And though that's one that you probably, would probably have ever or never heard of, but again, like I said, we're learning about these things and learning some answers to questions that we don't normally get involved in or get involved with. If your answer to that, I'll give you it in 3 seconds. The answer to that would be the priest in the tongue of the man's family. That would be D as in Deborah. The priest in the tongue of the man's family. That's the answer to that question. And this would be our last question for today. How did Solomon determine between two women the true mother of a child that was brought to him? How did Solomon determine between two women the true mother of a child that was brought to him? A, he said he would cut the baby in two. B, he asked questions of the fathers. C, one woman finally confessed. Or D, he could tell by its face. Which is the correct answer? A, he said he would cut the baby in two. B, he asked questions of the fathers. C, one woman finally confessed. Or D, he could tell by its face. Which one was or is the correct answer to that question? Julie, you're funny. A, B, C, and D. That was to the previous question, I guess. All right, and in 5 seconds, I'll give you the answer to this one. And again, this is our last one for today. He said that he would cut the baby in two. So if you had A, you are correct. A is the correct answer to that question. He would cut the baby in two. And then you know what happened. One of the women confessed that, But these are interesting comments, or interesting questions, I should say. There's a lot in there that you can take in, but if you realize what is going on with these questions, they are questions that we are not normally studying or hearing about or whatever. Some of them you probably heard about, half of them, maybe a little more than that. Others you just like we don't really pay attention to them, but it's a good learning experience, and I trust this afternoon that you were able to be blessed of the Lord. Whatever you got right, whatever you got wrong, it didn't matter. We're just here to learn, and that's what our Tuesday afternoon session would be about. Again, to the answers to the puzzle, I would be, not the crossword puzzle, I would put that in our Facebook page, on our WhatsApp page. You can go there and you can see what the answer to that was. If I tried to read it out, but there were so many, and it would have taken us half of the time that we would have spent here reading all of it. But thank you for your attention. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate your support. And Ruth, you came in a little bit late. You can go back over and find some of the questions. This should be available immediately after we're done. But it's really interesting to have, some knowledge passed on to us. So thank you again. Blessings to you. I want to encourage you, and I know it's a small amount of folks that are here, but I wanted you to take the time to sign in or to sign up in our page that we have, our church track page. It's the widget page that we have, and it's for like the live giving, or not the live giving, for the giving and stuff like that, our tithes and offerings and stuff. But when you sign up, and the reason I'm saying that is when you sign up for that, it gives you, I'm going to do a class one of these days, maybe on a Thursday or sometime. Maybe I'll just put together a little video and show you how to get into it. But it's very, very simple. You go into the site. It is on, there are a couple of ways. I did put the link on the Rockville Church of God of Prophecy Facebook page and on the WhatsApp page. And all you need to do is to go in there and you can sign in. It tells you at the top of the page, sign in or register. When you do that, it gives you the chance to go into and get all the information that you can get. Like signing into the online giving, for example. When you sign in there and you click the continue button, you can click on the right hand where the wheel is, and it will give you, no, that's the change, to the left hand side, the three little stripes, and it will give you the welcome button, my profile, upcoming events, online giving. my giving history, directory list, and photo directory. A lot of this we're still working on. This is a work in progress. I know that I finished April so that you can see all your giving for the month of April. I'm beginning to do some in March, and then I'll get into February and January. We're going to go back to January of this year. We're not going to go past that. But you will be able to get online and see everything. Your giving history, your online giving, you can see the directory list. If you prefer that your name is not on the directory list, then you can always let me know, and we will remove it from there. But this is only for people who are signing, who are registered with the Church of God of Prophecy, the Rockville Church of God of Prophecy. It's not for anyone else unless they have a username and password. They cannot get this information. So take the time, check this out, and I pray that you would be blessed in the name of the Lord. Again, blessings to everyone, and we thank you for joining us today. Until Thursday, when we are, Pastor Daniel did a video for Thursday. I'm just trying to get it from him to me. If Julia, you should be able to sing a song. Ruth, some of you guys, just videotape it, and Nanan does it well, and Shanti does it well, and just work on it, put it together, and send it to me. If you need to do a live stream on Thursday, call me and let me know. Text me and let me know. I'll give you a link so that you can do the live stream. We are going to be blessed of the Lord. Tomorrow is our prayer and Bible study at 7:15, and then we'll be back online on Thursday at 1 p.m. Blessings to you. God bless you.